Okay, so now we're going to get into the guts of this. We're going to start talking about mods. And if you're just joining the presentation at this point, we are going to assume that you are familiar with the inner workings of the Minecraft launcher, specifically how to work with the different versions of Minecraft in the profile editor. And we also are going to assume that you have seen and know how to get to the Minecraft hidden folder. If not, you might need to go back and look at those before you watch this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is give you a whole lot of precautions about mods. Um, Before we start showing you how to do them, we want to make sure you understand what they are and what they are not. So a mod is a piece of user-created code that modifies the original game software and changes the way the game behaves. So mods are developed by hackers. They're not developed by Mojang, who is the original game developer. So when you download Minecraft and you're playing that from the Minecraft.net website, you're playing the Mojang version. We call that the vanilla version of the game. So um, Mojang encourages people to use mods, and that's again what makes Minecraft so cool is that um, Mojang says, here's my base code, and you guys are free to modify it in any way you want. So they encourage it, but they don't take any responsibility for the content of the mods or the repercussions of their use. So if your game crashes, if your computer gets a virus, if anything bad happens, not Mojang's problem. They're just sort of open sourcing the opportunity for people to make modifications to the game, but that's not their problem. You can't call them for help. Um, so when you download anything from the internet, you have to use precautions. I'm going to show you a lot of places where I learned, um, where I was misled, and hopefully help you avoid some of those situations. But if you just follow some of these basic guidelines, you'll probably be okay. So mods can cause problems when you add them onto the game. They can cause the game to crash. They can delete or corrupt your world files. So again, if your child or your Minecraft player, let's not assume children, if people build something in a world and then they add in a mod, it could just disappear, never to be seen again. So again, backing up saves you that before you add a mod, helps a lot. Um, Mods aren't created with children in mind, and most of the people doing them are software hackers, and they're usually adults or young adults, and so they might contain inappropriate content. Um, I haven't seen a lot of those. I guess it depends on what you consider inappropriate. Um, there are some that promote more violence, more player versus player uh, battling. So you just want to make sure that you know what's in it, and I will show you how you can kind of read through what's in it before you get it. They don't come with instructions. Sometimes where the website where you get them will give you some instructions. Um, they're out of date or they're incorrect. So basically you're kind of winging it. You're kind of on your own out there when you start adding mods. But hopefully I can help you avoid the major pitfalls. Um, and again, make sure you do regular backups of your Minecraft folder. That's going to make sure that your worlds are intact and your whatever other add-ons that you've collected. You can go back and get them if you need them. Okay, so here's what you need to know about using mods. Every mod is designed to work on a specific version of Minecraft. So if you use a 1.7.10 mod while playing the 1.8.8 version of the game, it will crash. When you hit play from your launcher, you will get a whole bunch of weird Java code and you won't be able to play. So that's important to know. Some mods are made for multiple versions. So I'm going to reference Lucky Block Mode or Lucky Block Mod. That's one that I'm going to use to demonstrate today. It actually comes for version 1.8 and version 1.7.10 and I think one other version too. So knowing which version the mod that you're going to use is designed for is one of the keys to successfully using mods. Um, Mods can conflict with each other. So if you're trying to use multiple mods at the same time, make sure that, for one thing, that they're all designed for the same version of Minecraft. Um, right away, if you can see that they're for different versions, they're not going to play together. They're going to crash your game immediately. And also, they need to be compatible with the version of Forge that you are running. We haven't talked about Forge yet, but Forge is a mod that helps you add mods. You can't add mods to Minecraft without Forge. We're going to talk about how to download that once we get a handle on what mod we're going to get. We're going to talk a lot about Forge. Um, but if you're so back to mods conflicting, if your game crashes, you want to try just adding one mod at a time until you figure out which one is causing you problems. In general, I found that when you try and throw a bunch of mods in together, it's bound to not work. So I try and limit it to one or two mods, or at least add them in one at a time. Pick the one that you really want, load that in. If that works, add another, see if they work together. And the way you do that is just you add them in, you play the game, and if it crashes, you know there's something wrong. And there's nobody you can call for help, by the way, so other than you can try and ask me. So anyway, that's the problem with mods. They sometimes use code that conflicts with each other. Submods need other mods to run with them in order to work. So sometimes it'll tell you that. So if you get, I can't remember, there's one that needs the slime void mod to be able to run with it. So when you load it in and you try and play, it'll tell you you can't play without the slime void mod. But that's usually pretty, when you go to download the mod, it'll tell you you need other mods too. But not always. If you create a world using a specific mod, you need to have that mod loaded whenever you open that world or you'll get an error. So in other words, if you get the Lucky Block mode and you create a new Lucky Block world and then you close that and you get some other mod and then you try and go back to the Lucky Block mod or world, it will give you an error. So just know that whatever mods were in your mods folder when you create a world, you have to have those mods and no others to be able to play that world again. And if you're hosting a LAN server, which basically means if you are on a network and you're wanting other players to play in the world with you, all the players have to have the exact same mods loaded into their mod folder to be able to connect to your world and play. So I get a little thumb drive when I've got a bunch of computers going at the same time at my house. I get a little thumb drive, I load the mods on there, and I just go around and distribute them to all the different players. So we make sure they all have the same version of the same mods in their folders. Okay.